In Lies of P, the concept of automated beings gaining sentience is central to the plot. Geppetto's puppet, the Maid in Black, Camille, and even our friend in the barren swamp have all journeyed down the similar path of enlightenment. However, the very first puppet to have his ego awakened forged his own way, using violence and bloodshed to express his newfound humanity. This story of self-discovery is strikingly similar to that of another artificial intelligence from Pluto, the animated series. Is this simply the product of coincidence, or something altogether different? But before we examine these two anomalous automatons, it's time to give credit where it's due. Kudos to Roberta McGettigan for locating the Easter egg in the previous thumbnail. If you look closely, you'll see Mikola's Lily in the top right corner. If you're new to the channel, I've started playing a game with viewers where I hide an Easter egg in the thumbnail of each of my videos. The first person to state what and where it is in the comments gets a shout out in the following video. Now, back to the matter at hand. The animated series Pluto features a society in which robots have been granted equal rights, at least through the tainted lens of the powers that be. Despite their alleged independence and freedom, they were unable to lie or otherwise cause harm to human beings. In this age of technological progress, even the most advanced robots, deemed as such for their potential to become weapons of mass destruction, were harmless to their human counterparts. All except for the robot named Brau 1589, who was the first and only known robot to commit murder and take a human life. In the city of Krat, the discovery of Ergo brought about a golden age of growth and prosperity. Their greatest minds were now free to harness the power of Ergo and usher in a boom of technological advancements. The greatest of these inventions was the Homo Machina, or puppets, as they were commonly referred to. Much like the robots of Pluto, puppets were also governed by restrictive programming that prevented them from disobeying humans and, most importantly, causing them harm. However, Arlecchino, King of Riddles, was created long before those failsafes were incorporated into standard production. As a result, his awakening would best be described as a murderous enlightenment that would go on to define his hatred for mankind. His bloody rampage would eventually end at the hands of a blind stalker whose spear would pin him to the wall, where he would remain for the rest of his days. Much like his puppet counterpart, Brau 1589 from Pluto was also pierced by a lance and pinned to a wall. Fearful of his violent behavior and his ability to harm humans and robots alike, his captors built a makeshift prison around his heavily damaged, immobile body and left him in solitary confinement. Although both machines had blood on their hands, their motivations couldn't be more different. Arlecchino was powered by Ergo, which was no mere mineral. In fact, it was the very essence of the human soul itself, encapsulated in a crystalline form. As such, he was not simply a puppet, but rather a human trapped in a puppet's body. Upon his awakening, he realized the depravity of the alchemists and focused his efforts on violently reminding them of the atrocities they had committed. Driven mad by the constraints of the Grand Covenant, the moment his ego awakened, only hatred remained for the people who would sacrifice their humanity for a false god. In the end, he would meet his end with a smile on his face, well aware that he had discovered the dark truth about mankind. Brau 1589 chose to remain a bit more cryptic about his motivations. Upon conducting examinations on his systems, investigators were unable to determine the cause of his violent behavior, as no errors in his code were ever found. His actions weren't the result of defective equipment or a series of malfunctions. However, he too had experienced firsthand what it was like to be a puppet. An enigmatic AI known only as Dr. Roosevelt had remotely infiltrated his systems and committed murder using Brau's hands to set the scene for his master plan. In his final moments, Brau 1589 would taste freedom one last time as he willingly sacrificed himself to destroy the puppet master pulling the strings from the shadows. The similarities between Lies of P and Pluto are undeniable. The inspiration for Arlecchino's predicament is quite evident after seeing Brau 1589's eerily familiar imprisonment. Perhaps the lesson to keep in mind is which of these two robots was truly more human. It's frightening to think how the one who had walked among us as a human proved to be as detestable as the beings that created him, while the imitation who had never worn flesh demonstrated what it was like to be a true hero. What other similarities could you find between these two great works of art? Are Adam and Geppetto's puppet both on a journey to become real boys? Is the heart, or kokoro, truly the vessel for the soul? In time, we will find the answers. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know you want more content just like this. Click on these videos on screen to continue your journey through Krot, and I'll be there to guide you when you arrive. Consider becoming a member for exclusive perks like emojis, members-only videos, and more. Or check out my Ko-fi page if you want to support me in a more personal way. Until next time, it's the Inhuman One, signing out. Join the Inhuman community today.